Hola amigos y amigas, welcome back to one more episode of the Mexico Relocation Guide. My name is Mariana and today I have a truly special city tour for you. This one-of-a-kind coast village is home to spectacular beaches, incredible natural wonders, and a colorful and vibrant community that makes this place magnetizing. So come with me to discover one of Oaxaca's most precious gems. Mazunte. This place is the go-to for adventure-seeking backpackers and beach-relaxing tourists altogether. Its golden, sandy beaches, warm blue waters, and eclectic energy have attracted people worldwide to see the spectacle that is called Mazunte. So let's start this adventure ourselves and discover why so many people fall in love with this beach town. Mazunte is a small village located on the Pacific coast of Mexico in the state of Oaxaca. This area has a rich history that dates back to the year 1600 when the Zapotecas established the first village. Now there are two theories about the name. One theory is that the word Mazunte derives from the Nahuatl word Maxoteta, which roughly translates to please lay your eggs here, while other people believe that it comes from the word Mizontle, a nickname given to a particular crab that is very common to this area. Now turtles have always been frequent visitors of Mazunte's beach since they come here every year to lay their eggs, which could explain one of the theories behind the name of the town. Now, throughout the following decades, many people came to the area to engage in this activity, which represented the main economic activity for Mazunte until 1990. The turtle trade was forbidden. Thank God, right? This directly affected the economy of the inhabitants who were left out of work overnight. Some people saw this as a new opportunity. Instead of profiting from the death of these animals, they figured they could do it from its preservation. That's how the Centro Mexicano de la Tortuga, or the Mexican Center for Turtles, was created. With the creation of this institution dedicated to the preservation of Mazunte's biodiversity, in September 2015, the Mexican government granted the title of Pueblo Mágico to Mazunte, a tourism program dedicated to supporting the local economy in Mexico. Mazunte has a unique bohemian atmosphere with a thriving arts and music scene that attracts creative types from around the world. You could say that this is the proverbial hippie beach town. The locals in Mazunte are friendly and welcoming, and newcomers feel at home right away thanks to the village's casual and low-key environment. If you're an expat looking to move to Mazunte, you'll be happy to know that there's a small but active community of expats in the area. Many are drawn to Mazunte for its relaxed and laid-back lifestyle, as well as its stunning and natural beauty. However, it's important to know that Mazunte is a small town, so if you're looking for a more urban or cosmopolitan environment, you may need to look elsewhere. If you're really interested in Mazunte, you have to adopt these ideals and be ready to compromise and start living a more sustainable and less commercial lifestyle. Now, another factor to consider is language. While many natives have adapted to the flow of tourists and immigrants, they've learned English. But knowing Spanish can be helpful for daily interactions and navigating the local culture. As most foreigners try to learn Español, speaking English is not embedded in the town's culture as it is in other resort towns like Cancun or Puerto Vallarta. Now, you may consider taking language classes or practicing Spanish before moving to Mazunte. Now, also, Mazunte is a multicultural community. Like other major beach towns in Mexico, the expat community in Mazunte is a little bit different. There's not a majority of American or Canadian retirees here. Instead, you'll find a mixed community in terms of age and background. You'll see a lot of people from Italy, Germany, France, as well as South American countries like Argentina, Chile, and many others. Many of them are also young and still working, whether they're freelance artists, digital nomads, or simple backpackers taking whatever job they can find. Now, it's also important for you to be open to the local culture and customs, because this is a small town and the pace of life may be slower and more relaxed than what you're used to. However, if you're willing to embrace the local culture and the laid-back lifestyle, you can enjoy a fulfilling and rewarding experience. Now, what about the cost of living? But I want to point out that we can't talk about Mazunte without including the neighboring beaches of San Agustinillo and Zipolite. You'll quickly notice that these three settlements complement each other in terms of community, shopping, and housing. So when giving you an estimated average of renting and real estate prices, no, it could be in any one of these towns. Also remember that these are villages, so there's really no point in dividing them into neighborhoods or colonias. Despite the proximity and some similarities, each beach has its particular vibe. Now, if you're into sustainability, then you'll love the specific rules that the town follows when building. They use a lot of recycled or organic materials, they use a lot of solar panels, and they install a lot of dry bathrooms. These are just a few examples of these regulations. Point being, the norm is rustic buildings mostly made out of wood, adobe, palm roofs, and things like that. Most of the properties that you'll find for rent here are one-bedroom apartments for singular couples that don't need that much space. It's possible to find apartments with 2 bedrooms or more, however, the cost will probably go up significantly since most of the rental listings are focused on holiday and short-term rentals. The cost of renting an apartment in this area can vary depending on several factors such as location, size, amenities, the time of year. However, as a general rule of thumb, long-term rentals in Mazunte can typically range between 5,000 pesos for a cozy room with a private kitchen and a bathroom, up to 30,000 pesos for a really big apartment or house with 3 or more bedrooms. Now, it seems that the tendency here leans towards buying rather than renting, as Mazunte's surrounding remain a semi-virgin area, so land sales are definitely booming. You can find a lot of lots of land sitting on a hill with a nice ocean view, starting at 1 million pesos, and depending on the size and other factors like accessibility to basic services, it can go up to 5 million pesos. If you find yourself interested in jumping on this trend of buying land in Mazunte, make sure to get in touch with a professional real estate agent that is familiar with the area, as well as hiring local architects and construction workers who dominate the techniques, materials, and regulations stipulated for construction in Mazunte. So as you can see, despite being a developing village, there are a lot of options when it comes to real estate. If you can afford to buy land and start a building project, then you should really look into Mazunte. Just be mindful that the beauty and uniqueness of this town and community reside in its dedication to preserving and living in harmony with nature, not against it. It is not the community's desire to build a steel and concrete metropolis, so adhere to these customs and ideals if you plan to start in Mazunte. In the area, you get your water from Sapao, which is Oaxaca's Commission of Water. Electricity you get from the CFE. Gas is mainly provided by Gas de Oaxaca, and internet is provided by Telmex or some other companies, although there are a few companies offering satellite internet as well. Now, the total sum of your utilities should be somewhere around 2,500 to 3,000 pesos a month. That's between 140 to 165 US dollars. It could always be less depending on your consumption. Now, let me break it down for you a little bit. Your water bill shouldn't be more than 300 pesos a month. Be mindful of not wasting water since it's difficult to bring it to the village, right? Now, for electricity, you may pay a bit more if you have an air conditioning unit in your place. Not all apartments have one, but trust me, the most desired ones do. Now, if you do own one, then expect to pay around 1,500 pesos a month. If not, you really shouldn't go over 200 pesos a month without air conditioning. Gas is ordered and is normally based on how big your tank is. If you live alone, a 30-liter tank should be enough for 2 months, and you can expect to pay anywhere around 600 pesos for a 30-liter tank. Internet, as I said, is mainly provided by Telmex. The infrastructure to provide this service is still developing, so don't expect the fastest internet in Mazunte. You should be able to get enough speed to browse, stream, do Zoom calls, and that sort of thing for an estimated price of 500 to 600 pesos a month. However, if you're uploading videos or uploading a lot of content, maybe you do a lot of video gaming where you need a lot of bandwidth, then it might be hard for you to find really reliable internet here. Hey, let's take a quick break just to kindly remind you that if you're liking this video, you give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I would also love to know where you're watching from, so leave your comment and tell us where you're watching us from. And don't forget to visit Mexico Relocation Guide.com, where we have a lot of free resources, from rental examples to a guide for expats on living in Mexico to a guide for retirees wanting to retire in Mexico, a lot of different articles on residency, healthcare, and so much more. So check out our website. The link is in the comments down below. Okay, now let's get into what your shopping options are. You'll find plenty of options for grocery shopping here. And to my delight, all you'll find here will be local stores and producers. Now, there are a few small grocery stores in town where you can find basic staples such as fresh produce like rice, beans, canned goods, snacks, and drinks. These stores are typically located along the main road that runs through the town. Now, additionally, there is a weekly organic market that takes place on Sundays where you can find a variety of fresh fruits, vegetables, meat, seafood, as well as some handcrafts. The market is a great place to stock up on locally grown produce. Now, sometimes if you don't find something in Mazunte, you can take a quick trip to Zipolite. That's why I said these towns complement each other. The ride to Zipolite is only 25 minutes, but don't expect a big city with supermarkets. All stores will be locally owned and they will sell locally grown and made products, and all at a very moderate cost. Now, the impact that supporting the local vendors creates is huge. Do as much as you can to keep the cash flow within the local stores and communities so you actively help these producers to grow. For a wider selection of products and imported goods, you may need to travel to nearby towns such as Pochutla or Puerto Escondido. You can find a Chedraui in both of these towns where you can find a wider variety of products, including a lot of imported goods and specialty items. At Pochutla, there are also local markets, which are bigger and selling a wider variety of products. Many people actually go to Pochutla, which is a nearer town, when there's something that they can't find in Mazunte. Now, what about medical? Well, it's an important aspect to consider is how available are medical services in Mazunte. Now, something to remember is that Mazunte is a small village, and while there are medical services available in the area, they may be very limited in scope. For example, for minor illnesses and injuries, there are a few clinics and pharmacies that can provide basic medical care, such as wound cleaning, sutures, and prescribing medication for common ailments like the cold or the flu. If you have more medical emergencies, there is a hospital. It's the Mazunte Medical Center, a private-owned facility run by Dr. Josue Gutierrez, who is also bilingual. It seems it's the only clinic in town prepared to treat emergencies as well as providing lab work services, dental care, and has a small operating room for minor surgeries. If you need hospitalization or you need more special treatment, there are bigger medical facilities located in the nearby towns of Pochutla and Puerto Escondido. But it's important to know that these towns are located about an hour's drive from Mazunte, so it may take some time to reach them in case of an emergency. Now, if you love staying active, you'll have a lot of options in Mazunte. One of my favorites is walking or jogging at the beach, which can be excellent for your health. Also remember that this is an ideal place for nature enjoyers. So you'll have several hiking trails in the area, which are both beautiful and a great way to get some exercise and sun. There are also several wellness centers in the area. You'll find yoga and holistic houses, as well as several collectives giving dance classes, guided meditations, acro yoga, scenic art courses, and many more options focused on exploring your spiritual and creative self. You might be wondering, how do you even get to Mazunte? And once you're here, how do you get around? The easiest way to get to Mazunte is by flying into the Huatulco International Airport or the Puerto Escondido International Airport, both of which are located about an hour drive away. From there, you can take a taxi or a shared shuttle that'll take you into town. You can also get here by bus. There are frequent buses and vans that run from Oaxaca to Pochutla, which is the nearest major town to Mazunte. From Pochutla, you can take a taxi or a shared van, which is also known as a colectivo, to Mazunte. It's just a short drive away. A taxi can charge you 250 pesos if it's a private ride, while a colectivo will be 25 pesos. It's a huge difference in cost. Now keep in mind that the roads in the area can be very windy and hilly. The ride from Oaxaca City to Pochutla takes about 6 hours, and you'll see nothing but curves for about 3 hours. So if you're prone to motion sickness, it may be a good idea to take some medication before embarking on this journey. Once you're in Mazunte, getting around on foot is easy and convenient. Most of the beaches, restaurants, and shops are all within walking distance of each other. If you need to travel longer distances or you're carrying heavy stuff like groceries or things like that, you can take a taxi or a shared van. There is a taxi stand next to one of the local markets, and they charge 50 to 100 pesos when moving within the area. Shared vans, known as colectivos, also run between Mazunte and nearby towns and cities. And these are what most locals use to get around from one town to another. It's as easy as standing on the main road that connects all the beaches in the area, wait for the blue pickup truck, and just hop in. The ride should cost 10 to 15 pesos depending on the distance. Now, despite being a small town, Mazunte is filled with plenty of fun activities and relaxing experiences. Beach hopping in Mazunte is logically the first item on the list for visitors and anybody who's thinking about living in the area. Now, we've already mentioned San Agustinillo and Zipolite. San Agustinillo is the next beach and settlement after Mazunte. It's a little less than a mile away, so you could easily walk there or wait for the colectivo to take you there. This beach is peaceful, ideal for swimming and sunbathing. You'll also see restaurants and little food stands run by local families. It's a great beach. Zipolite is about a 25-minute drive away from Mazunte. This is the only official nudist beach in all of Mexico. So if you consider yourself a free spirit, you could give it a try. Regardless, it's legal to be naked, but not mandatory, so you can come here and enjoy the beach without getting naked. There are several beach clubs and restaurants offering seafood and cocktails. Now, in Mazunte, you have the main beach, which is also a great place to get a nice tan. Swim a little, enjoy sitting on the beach, ordering ceviche and cocktails. You also have Mermejita Beach, which is a beautiful virgin beach surrounded by hills, displaying a unique black-colored sand. In Mermejita, you won't find any restaurants or big crowds, so it's perfect to come and read a book or meditate, bring a picnic, bring your own food. There are no places here to eat. On any of these beaches, you can find local tour guides that can take you to explore the area by boat, take you to nearby virgin beaches or lagoons, or even take you to see whales when it's the right season. Another favorite is watching the sunset at Punta Cometa. I mentioned this place earlier. This is the southernmost point in Oaxaca. Now we're talking about the tip of a mountain that rises from the Pacific and forms a natural observation point. It's a perfect place to watch the sunrise, set, or come up. You'll usually see people gathering at the edge of the cliffs to watch the beautiful spectacle of the sun hiding behind the sea. We call this in Spanish, la puesta del sol. And talking about hiking, if you're an outdoors fan like myself, then you'll love Mazunte and its surroundings. Besides Punta Cometa, you'll also find several hiking trails that'll take you to nearby beaches like San Agustinillo, La Ventanilla, and Puerto Angel, just to name a few. Now, because Mazunte is a community devoted to the preservation of species and sustainable lifestyle, you'll find several projects dedicated to these two tasks. The most famous one would be the National Mexican Turtle Center, which is located in Mazunte, and it's dedicated to the protection and conservation of sea turtles. You can visit their facilities, although this would be mainly an educational experience. If you want to be courtside for the turtle nesting spectacle, then you need to go to La Escobilla, which is a beach that is about 40 minutes away. This is a place where thousands of turtles come and lay their eggs every year. This takes place usually between July and December. You can be an observer or collaborate with the community to ensure the best survival rate possible for the newborn turtles. Another famous one would be the one in La Ventanilla. This is an ecotourism center dedicated to preserve the mangroves of the area. So it's not only beaches, you can also hop on a boat and explore the swamps of Oaxaca and see alligators, hawks, iguanas, turtles, and all kinds of species and animals and plants. And not only that, you can actually stay in the reserve. They offer cabins, camping areas, and restaurants. Now, if you're into water sports, these waters are good for surfing, at least for practice. If you want to get serious about it or just enjoy seeing the pros do their thing on the water, then you should head on over to Puerto Escondido, a famous destination for pro surfers, specifically Cicatela Beach, which holds a tournament every year. If you're more into just relaxing, spending the day, and going out when the sun is down, then you'll love Mazunte. Now, if that's not enough, Mazunte also has several arts and cultural festivals throughout the year. There's a yearly international jazz festival, which has gained fame because it offers a great lineup. You also have spiritual celebrations, artisan gatherings, circus festivals, and even a nudist festival. In other words, here in Mazunte, you'll have everything you can ask for. Delicious food, great outdoors, beautiful beaches, colorful biodiversity. There are dances, music, shows, laughs, breathtaking sunsets, and all of these under a warm blanket of beautiful community. I mean, what else do you need? So what do you think? Can we say Mazunte is a marvelous place? I think it's pretty clear that the answer is a big yes. Now, it might just be the size of the village, but the treasure you can find here is priceless. If you ever feel like city life is not your cup of tea, or you're looking for a new experience that'll take you out of your comfort zone and put you in a place of gratitude for all that surrounds you, then start paying attention to what Mazunte can bring to the table. I hope that this video has helped you to appreciate how special Mazunte is. And hey, whenever you're ready to take the next step on moving to Mexico, check out our complete Mexico relocation guide. It's always a good idea to have people on your side guiding and helping you to get through all the steps you need to take with confidence, because things always run smoother when you get the help of professionals. We've helped thousands of people move to Mexico the right way. So thank you so much for watching another Mexico relocation guide video. I will see you very soon in our next video. Nos vemos pronto. Hasta luego.